for me to make sure everything's okay. Otherwise, I need to get back into setting everything up for the next like 15 seconds at least, and then we'll just get into it. Again, nothing much, probably at least an hour, anywhere from an hour to 2 hours of just Haru runs, because it's been a while since I played base content. But also, this is just to get me back into the streaming, just get back into some kind of streaming schedule. I don't know if I'll do weekdays, but I certainly want to do Fridays, Saturdays, and possibly Sundays, depending on my own scheduling. But yeah, let's just get into it. So nothing really much else to say. This is just going to be a chill stream for the most part, but if you want to learn anything or if you have any questions, feel free to try and ask. We are using the custom content from pretty much around episode 30 of our Mod Pack Madness series. So if you've never seen that before, or you don't know what's happening, essentially just refer to that and then refer to this, and the only difference is that we're playing Haru here. So, as we get into, let's just start with Katak, because I forgot to randomize things. We randomized World of Horror apparently, but Katak, Haru, and off we go. Shouldn't need timestamps. I usually don't timestamp streams unless they're really formal, like my tier list video, but Takshi-san, second mystery, charisma, dexterity, strength, dexterity, and maybe a light check. But aside from that, yes, I think there was something I said a while ago as we actually get into the yapping portion, is that, yeah, if nothing happens for World of Horror pretty much around the time of Halloween, then I'll probably likely do less World of Horror videos. Not because I hate World of Horror, but because I wanted to at least focus on other games that may or may not be coming out around that time, let's just say. And that's really all that you need to hear at the moment. That's probably one of the most important things you can hear at the moment. But otherwise, yeah, just sticking here with World of Horror, the custom content scene is still going strong. Shrug. So that's all I have to say. Vigil, Coma, Akamanto, Rider, and Frogs. We can take Akamanto now. Yeah, we can take Akamanto now. And this is certainly going to be a kick run because we have Ancestral Strength on top of Hard Knock. Now, where am I going to get all these funds? Probably just preparing, considering that we have Akamanto. But yeah, if nothing else, from time to time, I will focus up, and at least we can learn some stuff. Again, not that there's too much to learn. The other game I'm playing on this channel certainly has a lot more to learn, but hey, that's just the nature of a game. That's I think, you know, both games have their appeal and whatnot, let's just say. And as I mentioned before, I mainly do World of Horror for the most part, or at least try to do it if I have no other videos or streams I can do, because it's easier to record and or make videos or streams for World of Horror. We're going to take a risk, by the way. We do have Ancestral Strength, so if we do run into an encounter, it's not the end of the world. It's still just going to hurt us much because we're not fast without Nicotine Rush, and we are missing a point of damage. Although, again, we have Ancestral Strength, so it's not going to be too bad. I'm pretty sure we can do 3 kicks. It's been a while since I played Haru as well, so anywho. Funny enough, we can take this doll if I really so choose, but let's look closer because it's been a while. Lowers Doom by 2, and you get 5 experience if you pass the perception check. Hey, that's cool. Also, we do have Coma, but I think we still set the patrols to the school at the moment. So as we get a free 10 experience, which I actually didn't... Have I run into that event yet? Well, anywho, we will... I think funny... No, we have Nicotine Rush. We can't fight that. Yeah, we're just going to go the whole way and then use the cigarettes at the end. I don't know if we'll have enough for the entire run if with just 2 packs. It's certainly possible, but I would certainly not like to gamble on that. But again, we'll see, as we actually do run into something. Now, this is not the worst encounter in the world, so yeah, we're just going to kick this, and we might lose 3 all, especially if our kicks are actually like... What are the odds of that? By the way, great start, great return to to streaming in general. Now I'm just curious. I'm pretty sure that was like 0.4%, but let me just make sure. No, not that. So the odds of missing 3 times in a row, so odds of missing at 20%. So yeah, that was a 0.8% chance of me missing every single kick here. So gambler's fallacy. Okay, well, we're 4 and 6 on an 80% accurate action. And at this point, if we can just desperate struggle, I really just should. 72%. You know, sometimes I wonder what I'm doing with my life. In terms of my RNG, but you know, it's fine. Actually, let's just guarantee this. So we get 6 damage guaranteed. That was probably the more preferable option, as opposed to me missing over 50% of our kicks here. But hey, them's the breaks. So we can get rid of Ancestral Strength for the sake of taking more reason, but we certainly want to smoke a pack of cigarettes before the end here. Now, if we enter Coma next, we will be wasting a cigarette because we've already fought something in the school, I'm pretty sure. But otherwise, it takes us at least 2 turns anyway, on average, because I think next turn we get 10 damage guaranteed, so really we just need to hit one of these kicks. And then we do this. So, Desperate Struggle, guaranteed 2 kicks. And let's hope I do Handcuff Attack. Okay, I nearly missed that. I don't know why I'm so inconsistent with basically hand-eye coordination stuff. You've seen it in Fear and Hunger, especially when I was trying to do Masso mode, which I did not get far in. And then anyone who knows me in real life who's met me in the fighting game scene knows I'm certainly not consistent with multiple things, whether it's combos, whether it's matchup knowledge, whether it is a muscle memory from what I should do when fighting against certain opponents or characters specifically, and so on and so forth. But anywho, I wasn't that amazing. That's we'll say it that much. And to some people who know me in real life, that might be a downplay, and I might sound not too humble in terms of, you know, there is a kind of an unwritten rule in fighting games that I do believe in which you shouldn't really downplay yourself, but it's less me downplaying and more I know where I stand, so shrug. By the way, yeah, we do want to switch this to the hospital now. But whether or not we should heal stamina, I probably should, actually. Especially since we're going to enter Vigil later. Now, this is a lot of Doom to grab, but we need the HP. So, I could probably do more, but we'll see. Yeah, so if we lose another 2 reason there, especially with penalty damage, let's rest one more time. Now I'm worried about my Doom, but it shouldn't be so bad still, so let's find out. Also, yes, you are seeing right, there's a stream scheduled tomorrow as well around this time for Uma Musume, but I'm just doing it again. I need to get into the mood, especially as I do other stuff, as we get clickety-clack, chattering teeth. We could one-shot, really low chance though, especially if I miss attacks left, right, and center like this. But anywho, moving on. CQC training if we run to the semi-auto event. Otherwise, Irizumi if I want to get another pack of cigarettes. Though it looks like I have enough. Theoretically, I should have 27 cigarettes right now. Yeah. And if that's not true, well, we'll find out. With RNG and otherwise. This, on the other hand, I think we just go all out anyway. Yeah, we go all out anyway and see what happens. Because either way, we're probably going to take 3 all-ish damage. Especially if I decide to gamble on turn 3, but we'll find out. My kicks are not 80% accuracy, by the way, but I don't want to gamble on this, so we're just going to do another brace kick turn. And yeah, let's just get out. I didn't feel lucky, even though I should have Gambler's Fallacy did. I do, I mean, in a joking way, I do dislike that I'm using the Gambler's Fallacy as a kind of verb on this channel, but if you've seen what's happened to me recently in the past week or 2, you would understand why. But anywho, in any game really that I was playing on this channel, but moving on. Now that being said, that doesn't stop me from running into meteors while I'm playing Path of Exile, or the bad decisions that I make, even just on World of Horror, but there is still some bad RNG, I feel, so I'll deal with it. Again, this is the occasional reminder that although I complain about RNG, it's all in good fun. It's only when it happens and something bad happens in real life, then yeah, it's bad. So I didn't know if I actually wanted to save those funds, but maybe, like I said, maybe we have enough cigarettes for the entire run. So as we take note and move on with life, here's our next encounter. I mean, either way, because even if we did Desperate Struggle, we'd only get up to 15 HP damage, so... And this is 10 damage, I believe. Nope, I'm going crazy. It is... Why is it more? I'm going crazy. I'm going absolutely crazy. Anywho. Oh, that's right, we can't even run away from encounters, so even if I wanted to run in some cases, I need to be able to fight. So, yeah, basically what that means is I want to prioritize cigarettes if I think I'm going to run out. But if we don't, we should be fine. Oh my goodness, that's 2 Doom and -2 Reason. I mean, that's not too much, but you don't want to keep taking that. Anywho. Funny enough, we trade off stamina for reason here. Just gonna try to play for Doom at the moment. And here are more funds, but funny enough, I'm gonna equip this for the moment. I forgot what our second encounter is, so here's hoping. And let's cut the plant down. Quote unquote lower Doom by 3, but now we just take Doom. Oh, by the way, that's right, we had Akamanto stuff, so I should not have equipped the nice ring. That doesn't get rid of Faceless, by the way, so now I just have a stat decrease for the entire run. Which didn't matter anyway, because we rolled an 8 on the strength check, so I am already going crazy at this time of the day. It is pretty much morning to noonish around where I am, but as we missed 50% of our 80% accuracy kicks, boy oh boy does the run look bad. Lost 1 in every single stat. An extra brain damage or knowledge decreasing status effect will lose us the run. And I was going to say something here, but it doesn't pertain to this part of World of Horror, so moving on. Yeah. So off we go. Funny enough, 55% Doom here isn't too bad, but boy is it getting close. So, we will level up and get 8 strength. My problem is the Doom, actually. And 0 statting, but we'll find out. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's the left option. I feel like it's the left option. But anywho. So, we'll search the teacher's desk and fail a 1%. I mean, we rolled an 11. Do you need any more evidence that our stats don't matter? As we also roll a 2, so stats don't matter. Oh, goodness gracious. Anywho. Yeah, funny enough, now I have more questions about a certain thing I did recently, but it's fine. Rolled a 10 on... Like, are we going to stop rolling high, very, very high and very, very low? Tune in next time for when we check the plaques and trophies, in which that was actually a fair check. But I'm sure Faceless doesn't affect luck, question mark? I don't think we can recover from this, so we just take it in the phase and actually randomize our next run. So, that was an easier run as well. World of Horror backstory with Kadak, that's as vanilla as you can get. Actually, no, it's not. It's Ath, but as we get Ath and Curious Birthmark, as the game would like to remind me immediately, yeah, just Haru runs. Just Haru. So, as we go into this next run here... Oh my goodness, I cannot find Curious Birthmark. We're still going to do kicks with Haru. I like saving on the Doom. Keep in mind that if we did not... if we decided to try and buy a weapon, our Doom would have been a lot higher, basically. So, thankfully, if for some reason I give myself Faceless again, I'm pretty sure you can take it away with the old coin. Dexterity, second mystery, Charisma, second encounter, knowledge, every single stat check. Strength at the end, maybe. But... yeah, no Takshisan, so I don't have to be as conservative with my cigarettes. I've been saying liberal lately, but those are literally two different definitions in terms of the application, like in quantities, say, quantity. That's when I'm using those words. And I shouldn't be using big words when I am not sure of what they mean, but as we see, Kana, Teacher, Bulletin, Frogs, and Writer once more. So we get the salty run back with better mysteries. And if I lose this run, then boy, do I have no excuses. That, and it's just me making mistakes. Usually I don't lose a run like this. Ath, Curious Birthmark, although we can proc curses, we do have good encounters regardless. And then we get the brick for an extra weapon if we need it, or something to throw if we need it. That's the more accurate way for me to phrase that. And off we go. We'll sell them for more funds, and then we grab cigarettes, and if we run into out of funds, well, I could grab... well, I could trade off Doom and out of funds for funds. We're instead going to... that was supposed to be stamina. I'm thinking of the other version that's out of time. That's a custom event. That's all I have to say. But anywho, oh, that was the wrong one. I was thinking that was the charisma check where you get reason. No, that's if you run into a lady who seems to be going crazy. But as we move on here, again, for those who are, oh, I didn't do the thing, by the way. We can take this Doom, but what I can't take are the random curses. Hopefully, bad ones don't proc, or too many don't proc. Because otherwise, 6 Doom here is not so bad as long as I get out. 8 Doom even is not as bad either. But the game just keeps deciding that I want to miss 8. I miss 50% of my 80% accuracy kicks. So, oh, that's right. And then we get canceled there. So we took 10 Doom. That's really bad. But Could have been a lot worse, as odd as that sounds to say. Also, that was not part of a not part of an apartment encounter, so funny enough, I have to smoke these cigarettes now so that I can try and survive whatever encounter may come immediately. But otherwise, let's visit the monument again. Funds or stamina, please? Nope. Funds or stamina, please. I'm going to do it again. Might as well. And off we go. Again, if we run into out of funds, this time we'll trade off stamina properly, but okay. Or we could just lose stamina. Either or. But we have 0 funds right now, so again, I'm telling you right now, if we run into out of funds, we're going to try to trade off stamina. 12 roll on dexterity, but thankfully that event didn't punish me for failing, and yeah. I mean, I've posed this situation before, but the situation is, as we rate on Kana here, and their eye to be healed by the hospital, is that would you rather have your RNG 50% of the time be extremely low, like nat 1s, 2s, and 3s, or nat 20s, 19s, and 18s, or would you rather roll pretty much just take 10 every time, or it's close enough to 10, 8 through 12 on a dice roll? I'm sure people have reasons to take one or the other, and it is situational at times, I feel. But, I mean, I guess that's more risk assessment, right? Risk assessment. R-I-S-K space assessment. And by that, I mean if the punishment for basically getting a nat 1 is very, very bad, I'd assume most people want to take 10 instead, but really not much else to say on that. Bulletin tax, so I should have taken Bulletin first, but I'll take Bulletin now. Assuming this is very long, we should still have enough cigarettes. Again, we don't have Takshisan at the lighthouse, so I don't need to worry. Now, what I do need to worry about is this increasing doom, but I was the one who decided to test knowledge there. I knew that was a knowledge check, I just decided to bet against myself. And now we don't get out of funds with that event. Now, whether that's a good or bad thing, could be either, because again, something that I don't often mention is that out of funds does replace whatever event you were going to run into. If events are queued in, then I mean, you still remove one event from a location, essentially. So if that was a very bad event or enemy, then theoretically speaking, things could be good as we get the suicidal proctors. Please don't. Okay, I was about to say, please actually be 80% kicks, because funny enough, hey, 80% of 8 kicks is about 7 kicks at least still. So theoretically speaking, I should be hitting mostly every kick, which would be really great. That would allow you to two-turn a lot of enemies, especially where I'm at right now. For example, this aspiring model. So if I do hit all 4 kicks, which I don't, like, I can't stress enough how important it is to be able to do this. Otherwise, is Brick going to be better here? No. Not unless I do something like this. But I'm going to option select the Brick. So this is 10 damage if I hit every single kick. Otherwise, yeah, I would have to throw the Brick. If I miss twice, though, then I don't throw the Brick, because then I wouldn't be able to defeat the enemy. There are some really finicky things happening there, and that's why throwing weapons or using items while you are doing an action sequence is pretty interesting. And I'll just say this now. So there was something I wanted to try out, where theoretically, if you could control a lot more things in game, let's just say. And you know what? Funny enough, we'll use the shovel. But you can theoretically add enemies in which you can use items. Now, I don't think we can still make custom items or status effects with any kind of custom content, but if you could add in things that, you know, I wouldn't completely... Oh, that's right, we're in Bulletin. I didn't visit the forest. Well, this is going to be interesting. We can still old coin. I think I'll old coin suicidal here, because this is really, really bad to have. Also taking the pancakes, which we can eat right now, but let's find out. Otherwise, I could just forget about this phone, but you know what? I think we can fight this phone, or Bulletin, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, essentially there's an encounter in which it just does a lot of damage, but you can one-turn by using an item. So I don't want to force people to do that, but if you wanted to, say, challenge someone specifically, then you could theoretically add in enemies. Like, I would not mind doing something like that, but I would not make something like that open. I would just, at base, make the enemy do something different, essentially. Also, we do have a wine bottle, so I think with the power of the shovel here, we can just take it out. Question mark. I don't think this is guaranteed. I don't think this is really 7 damage is what I'm trying... No, it's not. It's 13 damage. We can go for a dodge turn. And we'll see what happens. Dodge is such a garbage action. Anywho. We still want to drink the wine bottle because that will at least heal us. And the stamina or the stat loss will more than make up for it, especially since we get an empty bottle. Unless we get, not fetid fumes, we lose our bath. Which, no, we did not get. I'm going crazy. Anywho, let's fill this bottle with water. Let's take our reason and off we go into teacher. So, we have 8 strength. We're also on the nicotine rush buff. We should be completely fine. But if we're not, whoa boy, is it going to be interesting to see. But, as we take this gold bath and succeed a strength check, let us... There's not really much else I should be worried about. Yeah, 43% doom on our third mystery. As we roll an 11 on charisma. Even with that, we should be pretty fine. If someone else were in my position right now, I would say you have a very good chance of winning. I think I would still rather kick here. So yeah, 80%, but... I missed 3 80% out of 4. I want to just keep contextualizing or putting this in... oh my goodness, I'm proccing cursing as well. You know, you realize I would not have procced that curse if I'd hit all 4 kicks on my first turn, right? Because I think we got a free out. But at this point, now I'm just curious to see how many kicks. I'm leaning back, that's why it might sound further away. But I kind of need the support right now. I'm sitting on a chair that's thankfully a lot more comfortable, so that's why I'm feeling more comfortable. I'm going to move my microphone because I'm actually trying to... Yeah, let me just lean back and speak from where I'm at. Now, funny enough, this shovel is going to do us a lot of good here. Although I think even with kicks we'd be fine. Yeah, with kicks we'd be fine as well. But as we continue getting curses left, right, and center, as long as we don't run into a human enemy, I think we're relatively fine. But I guess we're going to find out. So, core strength will help out as well. It'll help out immensely, actually. Because now our kicks do super damage, but we keep rolling 12s on events, so there's only so much damage we can take. Before I just get very, 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 very sad. So, off to this ghost encounter we go, which we also double tap. Don't give me a curse with Curious Birthmark, please. Thank you. And away we go. I'm going to preemptively put Sensor Bunny on screen just really quickly, just to see if I can do. So, half open event, so into the otherworldly event I go. We actually hit Frostbite Land. I was actually not hoping that this didn't happen, but it happened. And I'm going to take off Sensor Bunny, and we're going to move on. Yeah, we can't visit the hospital anymore, so we just have to take this Frostbite in the face. But that's not the worst thing that's going to happen to me. So, as we fight here, yeah, we're just going to kick. We're going to put Sensor Bunny on screen, and off we go. And then we're going to swing really, really hard here. Just making sure how much damage we can do. We could get more, but I just wanted to make sure. So, 14 health. And then this school. We can brace here. We want to brace anyway. I'm pretty sure the first attack can still give you a bugged, badly bleeding. I think it's a bug. If it's not a bug, again, someone let me know. But, as we get the third stack of... So basically, human enemies are going to absolutely destroy us. But I don't really have a choice, because I'd rather still take those curses and proc a random curse than take badly bleeding. End of story. So, we'll take Sensor Bunny off the screen. They should be off now, or he should be off now. And we'll eat these pancakes really quickly for Doom as well. Again, 4th mystery with 49% Doom. We're actually doing really, really well. So, drink this bottle of water. I actually should have drank the bottle of milk first, but... Either way, I can fill both bottles of water, just so I effectively have more stamina. This is, you want to save stamina items, basically, if you think, or run into a situation where you can overheal on stamina. Because you don't want to heal stamina and then run into an event. You have effectively lost stamina. But it's such a minor optimization that it's not so bad. Yeah, this is just a free out. So whenever I run into that event, just pick the left option. I might even make that harder on myself, and you'll see what I mean if I run into it. But as we roll an 11 on knowledge and lose 5 doom, oh boy, is this going to be fun for me. So, if nothing else, we'll do... Okay, so what I'm going to say for sure is that we'll, at minimum, do 4 Haru runs. But again, the time duration is usually at minimum 1 hour, and at max 2 hours and plus a bit more change, depending. So yeah, anywho. So we're gonna get an extra bottle of sludge. And if nothing else, I could theoretically convert a lot of events to the plugin version. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Otherwise, we're gonna go for the weapon again, and this time we do get to the thingy-majiggy. We don't need to equip it, yeah, we just need to have it in our inventory. Actually, we want to store the bottle of water. Basically, that event there is something that can be fixed with the plugin. I'm not saying the plugin's better or worse than the base game, although it does allow you to expand a lot more on custom content, but if we were to abuse things, and if for some reason World of Horror is stuck in the version that it's in for the rest of our pretty much lives, then yeah. But that's enough. I swear I'm not being promoted by anyone. I'm just making a mention because it makes sense. I'm going to turn around and actually fight. So, like gentlemen, we can lose 2 all, we can even lose 4 all, if this gives us a lot of experience. If it doesn't give us a lot of experience, I swear to the old gods, and in this case, At specifically, in this video, that we will not fight this anymore, because you cannot justify taking pretty much -4 all, as opposed to maybe -2 reason. 20, yeah, that's not enough. Heck, if that's ending A, I will just take the Knight Errant penalty. That's my balanced opinion for the day. However, actually no, I'm Haru right now, so even with that, even with -2 all, I might just skip it. 20 experience, that's not a lot, so into Rider I go. But again, if you get and take -2 all, I won't get mad or frustrated or anything if I see someone do that. I'm just saying that for myself, I would still rather just take -2 reason and plus 5, 6 doom for Knight Errant penalty than take -2 all or more. Basically, you want to be able to one-shot. Also, I don't think I filled the empty bottle with water, so now I'm just sad, but we'll just move on for now. And yeah, I think, in my opinion, funny enough, if every event gave you +1 doom, you could still survive Harbinger of Doom difficulty, if nothing else, really comfortably. Now, obviously, if you're on Zektast, it's a bit wonkier, but that's... If we're looking at least what I believe is the objective balance of events, you usually want to take away at least 2 Doom. Unless, of course, I mean, if you're balancing all events as a whole, obviously, most of your events should, in my opinion, take away more than +1 Doom. But that's not to say that you can't have events only take away plus or increase Doom by 1 at times. But that's a whole different story altogether. Yeah, this semi-auto is gonna zoom on us. So, as this thing burns and we move on with life, we definitely have more than 8 reason. I forgot to get rid of Frostbite, but that's how much I can kind of relax as Haru. But in the meanwhile, funny enough, I think I don't need to take out another bottle of water, so we can keep everything here. We don't have Takshi-san, but just trying to prepare if we did. We don't, though. I forgot my second encounter, but it doesn't matter because we have 63% Doom, and that's a really low for entering the lighthouse. So yeah, off I go. Don't even need to level up. Let's move on to the next run. I'll just mash through this lighthouse because we should be able to survive no matter what. And we will get into the next run shortly, as I also look at something to the side. I might as well, as I'm autopiloting here. So, into our third Haru run. Oh my goodness. So, what do we have next on our plate today? Herald, Exquisite Taste, 3 custom... Actually, no, all perks, random item stats, but I also basically do 3 custom character perks. You know what? I should just write this down in case I forget. So, Herald... Oh, and I say write, I mean type. Exquisite Taste, all random. And off we go. That's my brain's condition, by the way. For those who are joining in and are new to this channel and have at least listened and or watched this video so far, yeah, just know that I forget things that have happened within the past 5 to 10 seconds. But again, a lot of that is me trying to also speak and think about what to talk about while I'm also trying to focus on the game, which is my fault, so shrug. But as we get all perks, Exquisite Taste, so less sub-locations, or sub-actions, question mark? I forgot what the game calls them. And then Herald. Yeah, this could be an interesting run. Now, it could be a very, very good run, and it could be it could be a very, very bad run. We'll find out with the power of RNG. So, Charisma, Light, Knowledge, second Mystery, second Encounter, and maybe Takshi-san if we proc the 6th floor. But otherwise, as always, we leave the illegal den. Now, the thing about this is that I don't really mind setting the vending machines here. I lean back for a bit, that's why I sounded different. But this does mean I need to tree for funds. And then the other funds I want, if I want a 3rd pack of cigarettes, I would need to find elsewhere. Usually by selling items, but it can be very tricky. So, as we see what's on our plate, teacher again, footage, murder, taxi, and story. Ooh, these are a bunch of bad boss mysteries. My first question is, are we going to take a lot of Doom? If we are, then I still want to take teacher first because I want to be able to brace for the boss. However, we also have taxi and story, so I think funny enough, even though I think murder has someone as well, all damage boss, all damage bosses, and Doom. And this is going to be a high Doom run. So we're going to take teacher first to try and prepare for taxi and story. And by that, I specifically mean I need to be able to grab a perk that is good. Preferably adrenaline, core strength, and or fast swimmer. But we'll find out. Oh my goodness, mind wipe. Would be great if you're on an Azal run with experience rule, but that's not what happened. So yeah, I'm gonna take risk. I'm gonna take a risk here and just walk forward. Period. And if we run into an encounter, well, we'll decide on what we want to do. We might as well grab this brick so we can grab this brick. That's a 4 damage brick, by the way, so that's very good. And our cigarettes have not been changed price-wise. So, good for now. We're not on 7th curse. I could, but since I'm afraid of my doom increasing, we're gonna skip these allies. Could have been very good. If it were Yoichi earlier, sure, but we'll continue moving on. Was that negative 10 experience for failing, by the way? Well, this is thankfully not the worst enemy, but if I miss a lot, oh my god. 80% accuracy game, please. Oh, this hurts so much. I think I'm actually gonna throw this brick. I should have actually been using the brick to attack, but I'm just going crazy now. I should not have actually thrown that brick away. I am just going crazy though, so. Show them a few tricks. Hey, we have the strength. We take Doom for that. 2 stamina for 2 Doom isn't the worst thing. And in fact, that's actually... No, is that beneficial? Because you can rest for 3 Doom and get 2 stamina, 2 energy. Well, I mean, if nothing else, failing probably would have been worse. And if it's not worse, I'm going to have some things to say. Gameplay balance-wise, which would be funny. But anywho, moving on. So yeah, so this stream is the stream of the non-80% accuracy kicks, or the accuracy is a lie, but as it actually isn't a lie for this encounter, that's not the hardest encounter. I would rather have better luck on an encounter that hits me like a truck than an encounter that tickles me. Goodness gracious. RNG. But anywho. Yeah, we'll do this, and off we go. We are on Herald. And yeah, that's right, we have less sublocations. But thankfully we have Doom to spare because we didn't have to buy a weapon ourselves. Again, Haru's 2 guns, and by guns I mean metaphorically, as I take Sensor Bunny off the screen. Sorry, I forgot it for a moment. I mean his fists. So, off we go. Oh yeah, I took reason. Yeah, I took reason. So, murder, taxi, or story. We're gonna take taxi now. I haven't leveled up yet, so taking story now would mean a lot of pain. I also never... Oh, that's right, because we don't have a thing. We get another brick, so you know what? Profit, but we didn't get another pack of cigarettes, which is kind of what I actually wanted. But it's fine. That's right. And I can't prepare, so I don't get the cigarette case. So we just deal with the cards we're dealt. We deal with no police station patrols, and we deal with no cigarette case. And funny enough, I'll trade off funds there. We'll actually use Doom if we run out of funds, and let me lean back and relax as I think about my RNG. Let's hope. We got a fair 5 roll there for the moment. But we'll see what happens. Even 8 can be somewhat unfair, but that, and I only really say that because, again, Harbinger of Doom difficulty, for those who don't know, lowers all of your stats by 1 at the start of the run. That's why I would not advise you to make a character that has 1 in a stat, because otherwise on Harbinger of Doom, as I'm pretty sure one character has run into, you just die. You just lose the run immediately, and there's nothing you can do about it. But if you want to add more like if you want to be able to pressure stats later on, you could theoretically add in events that basically test a stat more often. Because even if a stat is at 2 and therefore would be at 1 in Harbinger, that's already enough where you're pretty much failing 95 or more % of the time. And I think you're guaranteed to fail with any event modifiers if that's the case, right? So, correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, as we might as well just use this brick. At this point, if 80% is 50-50 to me, I shouldn't really blink at 65 or 75%, like really. I mean, I feel like I'm not going crazy here, right? I feel like this is a very common sense take. Even though it's not built in the realms of theoretical math. But again, I would like to argue back. Again, I've mentioned this before, I might as well while we're kind of just autopiloting here. So, while yes, say that the chance of something. So say you roll a dice and you want to get a 6 every time, but basically you want to get at least 3 or higher every time. Oh, that's right, we get free cigarettes here. There will be some people who roll just 1 5 times in a row, and I believe I'm in that subset of unluckiness. Now, I'm not incredibly unlucky, and if that were the case, I could at least make content out of that. But we can still make content out of the fact that, on average, I feel like I'm pretty unlucky. And this is even without including the fact that I was looking at the quote-unquote threat level here. I think that's still correct. Anywho, moving on. Yeah, that's not including threat modifiers that add a difficulty modifier to your rolls, essentially. Period. That's the end of the sentence for now. So we're gonna go right. I think we can actually do more, but you have to continually pass checks, I believe. But maybe I'm wrong. Again, I have still not learned Taxi over 100 episodes or 100 videos, and probably nearly 80 runs of Taxi at this point. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. So, as we continue on here and lose more taxis in the meanwhile, I was going to say something, I'm not going to say it, because I don't think it's correct. So anyway, moving on. 37 HP, -1 all. So off we go to the races. We're only taking -1 all, so we might as well just go all out here. But at a certain point, we could also be interested in popping another pack of cigarettes, which I'm just going to do. And I think we can one-shot this. In fact, we should just take the risk here, and if we miss every single one of these... We need to hit 3 out of 4. But if we missed 2 or more, that might have been the end of the stream. I'm not too serious about that, but I promise you, if we run into 2 golden snitches in the middle of a stream, I will at least flop down on the bed behind me. But anyway, as we level up for Ringu here, thankfully, so first aid is going to be very, very good for us. In fact, did we get another good perk? No, folklore. Is this folklore studies? Anyway, moving on. No more bottles of water. That was the last run where I had 2, so we filled this bottle up. Funny enough, I'm going to take experience, but into, hey, just a bunch of boss rush mysteries we go. That's what I'm calling this mystery, by the way. We're calling it the boss rush story. So, off we go. Immediately an encounter that I think does all damage. It is a human enemy, but we don't have any handcuffs, even if I wanted to use them. So, off we go. Now, we do have fuel for Eldritch enemies, question mark? Nope, never mind, that's for the chainsaw. Well, that's egg on my face, but as we move on here, let me take a sip of water so my throat doesn't dry. That's something I've recently started to have to be aware of, but let me just take my sip of water, and I'll speak in about 5 to 10 seconds. That was 5 Doom! Oh my goodness. Yeah, feeding, I think in real life, feeding animals does make me feel better too, but 5 Doom? We were feeding ducks the whole day. Anywho. 4 out of 5, and that's like 33%, but... You know, I haven't been bracing recently. Let's brace here. Yeah, that would be really comfortable. So we lose -1 all, and I think that's guaranteed 2-turn, right? From 1 all. I call that a profitable encounter. Now, I complain about -2 all, but if their HP is low like that, it's more forgivable, but we're looking at the forest and not just the trees here, and the forest really looks bad when it has a bunch of enemies that all do all damage. I'm not saying that this mystery was horribly made or designed, I'm just saying that the reality of my situation here is that, oh, we could be in a lot of pain. So here's the ghost enemy. Funny enough, throwing a brick at a ghost will harm it, so... yeah, and we want to do that so we can avoid losing more damage. So, Haru's 2 figurative guns, which are his fists, will be good enough for the rest of the run. Especially if we don't have any more ghost encounters. But, as we sit here on... we'll have enough cigarettes for the entire run. I forgot my second encounter, by the way. And off we go. So, we fight, we literally punch and kick and scream. Now, this is a lot of all damage to take, but I think we can do some reason trading here. Now, I do lose out on a kick, but we should be out within 4 turns, as I miss another kick, but them's the brakes, and we need to actually hit both of these kicks here, so we're going to spread out the RNG. 64% chance to hit both of these 80% kicks. Okay, good. I still don't think we get out, though, funny enough. Not unless we throw something. And I'm willing to do that because this is a lot of damage. So, yeah, we're going to throw the empty bottle, because this empty bottle will essentially become -2 all, which is less than the amount of stamina I would probably be healing, but... we would have healed 4 stamina, so I traded 4 stamina for 2 stamina, 2 reason there, as effectively. Which, since I'm scared about reason, even though we are low on stamina right now, yeah. I'll still make the trade. But it depends on the situation. Situations can be specific to what you're dealing with. So, as we take stamina here and take more strength. Off to... Wait, did I have the... Yeah, I do. I have 3 custom mysteries, so... Murder into footage. Now, footage is going to be a long, arduous trek, but as we only have 4 locations to go in, and what that actually does is lock you out of sub-locations, we're at 40% doom, so we're actually not as bad as it... We're not in as bad as the situation as I may be making it out to be. But boy, oh boy, when the events decide to just slap you, they slap you. Oh, goodness. We get to lower doom here. I think we enabled rest, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure I'm making a mistake here because I think Haspin bamboozled me. Question mark? I won't say what I was saying question mark 2 because I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. But as we run into a stamina-based enemy here, which is a ghost, we actually get 8 damage a turn. And as long as no funny business happens, we should be able to survive this encounter. Now, it's going to be close, though, because, well... Yeah, we just barely have enough to survive. So, yeah, we're definitely going to rest at least... Oh, our rests are absolute garbage, but we need to rest anyway. So, Lighthouse rests mean more to me, but I need to survive stamina-wise, so... Off we go. Wow, we get nothing for succeeding that. Help. And into the boss we fight. So, 5 stamina. Boy, oh boy. Can I do 3 kicks? No. The answer is no. So now I'm kind of scared. We can, and probably should, trade off reason for stamina, but we also need to increase the accuracy of our kicks as much as possible. So yeah, let's go for it. And I think I need to do it again. And we need to hit every single kick. Oh. Well, we need to trade more reason still, so... And with that, we should be able to get out of this encounter and survive. So, 5 damage per kick at least. And we get a steak knife for our trouble. Not that that was worth the stamina we lost, but I think one of the... Oh, did I already... No, I didn't Witch Tree, right? No, I did Witch Tree. Well, take 1 doom away. And now I kind of regret using the empty bottle, but can you really blame me? I was really, really trying to... And we do have discipline, so hopefully when we succeed events, we're not as bad. But the thesis statement for this run is that if we make it to the lighthouse, we'll survive, no matter what. Like, I promise you, unless we get 23% doom on our next mystery, nothing bad should happen. And by extension, I really should not have taken the 5 experience, and I should have taken the 5 the stamina healing. But we were able to Desperate Struggle, so I mean it's not too much of a loss. Yeah, second sight, please. We're gonna heal stamina instead. And off we go. Because yeah, again, we just needed to make it to the lighthouse, so the short-term gain of recovering stamina will help us out more. At least in my opinion. But as we move on with life, let us, yeah, even though this mansion is max threat level, we could run into a bad encounter, or we could just get to lower doom, or we could just look at what this pickle is on our plate. But again, 3 doom for 1 stamina here, we might as well be resting, because I don't consider reason a factor at the moment. Until we lose -2 all there, then I'm a bit more peeved, but them's the breaks. But yeah, as we enter this now cut down forest, we need to also smoke another pack of cigarettes. But hey, we should be able to get out of this forest soon enough, but I guess we'll find out. 3 doom. Funny enough, I don't need this reason right now. Thankfully, we got out of the mystery quickly, though. So yeah, okay, never mind. We live. So if we had done every single event there, though, especially if we run into 2 encounters at least, we would have been in a very bad situation. But thankfully, that didn't happen. So this time, by the grace of RNG, we do survive. Also, I mean, obviously, I have to strategize to some extent. But hey, do we have the 6th floor, by the way? We do. So if I do this, we should be able to survive no matter what. Rest 3 times in the lighthouse and move on with life. Because even if Takushi-san can slap us 4 times, then we won't die. I could also, yeah, just to prove the point, let's just mash through this. I really should try to remember my second encounter, but I promise you we don't need to. So off I go. I am leaning back from my microphone, so if I sound a little quiet, that's the reason why. But as we even use this steak knife to get a bit more out of our turns, yeah, it's pretty nice. I was gonna, well, I mean, we can just plant the steak knife on his shirt, but as we complete this run here, hey, that's another Haru run down. Is it readily apparent that I'm quite comfortable playing Haru aside from weird runs like Zektast or Azal, where experience rule is the immediate concern, or Eldritch Parasite. I'm glad the game decided to remind me at that opportune moment of weird runs I can do with Haru. But either way, I mean, it doesn't make things that less difficult anyway. In fact, it makes my strategy a lot simpler. As we take Eldritch Parasite here, and I forgot what our god was. So, just to make things harder on myself, we'll pick Azal. I was going to say Zektast, but anyway, moving on. And again, as always, we'll go through the strategy really quickly for the sake of those who don't know. After reading the lighthouse here, dexterity check, charisma check, strength check, Takushi-san, knowledge, and maybe a light check if we proc the 6th floor as a town mystery effect. But, yeah, so we enable the illegal den. We enable everything but make sure we have the history club. And then we just enter the history club until we find either Mind Drain and or Ghostly Spear. Why those 2 spells in particular? Well, because those 2 spells cost max reason and or max stamina, which on an Eldritch Parasite run, lo and behold, you have a lot of max stamina and max reason. I'm seeing on stream here that something has slowed down, but I'm looking at another source and everything seems to be okay. So, here's hoping that everything's okay. Mermaids, Arms, Painting, Writer, and Cult. So, we need to take a town mystery first, that way we can fish for Mind Drain and or Ghostly Spear. And essentially, yeah, both of those spells deal damage. One deals more than the other, but either one of those will work out. And the faster, the better. Or the less doom we spend getting one of those 2 perks, the better the run looks out, because by extension, you're not using as much doom to try and reroll for the spells you're looking for. Now, there's still a likely chance that you don't get either in a good amount of doom, but as long as you're looking for at least 2 spells, then you should be quite confident in running this History Club strat, basically. But since we don't have Akamanto, we can also take the Gruesome Totem. Keeping in mind that you can take up to 3 things in the History Club before the run just ends. Which is why I can take the Gruesome Totem, because if I can take both spells afterward, we'll be at our History Club limit. Now, here, though, this is quite unlucky, because we have not run to either spell first. But this is still within the realms of possibilities, so as I get depressed at my own RNG really quickly here, oh boy. Keeping in mind we have the Gruesome Totem, so effectively we're at 16%, but yeah, all we can take is Ghostly Spear now. And funny enough, if I were to take one of the 2, I would rather it be Ghostly Spear. The reason is because we already have the Gruesome Totem, which will lower max reason. That's a small little optimization, or hope for optimization by way of RNG, but it is optimization, so off we go. And basically when we lose 3 reason is when we can equip the Gruesome Totem properly, like this. Keep that in mind, though, you know, if I wanted to actually fight or deal more potential damage per turn, I would buy at least 2 packs of cigarettes so that I can have it for a longer duration in which I can react. I'm going to do this in the behind the scenes, though, because I see a thing. But as we lose reason for pretty much no reason, we'll do our best to survive. So here we go. So what I mean by this is, and since this is taking away reason, I would rather Ghostly Spear and lose a bit of stamina. But using the cigarettes here would have allowed me to guarantee this upcoming turn, because this, with nicotine withdrawal, these are not guaranteed. In fact, you can't even get any attack boost. So here's hoping that we gamble on a 56%, which we did not pass. So sadness, just nothing but sadness. Another way to say it is that, yeah, I'm trying to purposely lose stamina here for the sake of encounters, but not much I can do when the game decides not to allow me to even do that. I mean, I could have traded stamina in that, or I could have basically tossed stamina during that encounter, but if I was going to do that, I might as well have just cast Ghostly Spear. So, we are on Timeline B, and this is a stamina encounter, so we just want to take this in the face before starting to cast Ghostly Spear. Otherwise, you're essentially just losing stamina. Period. That's the end of the sentence. Now here I can gamble again. I don't want to, but it seems like I have to. And yeah, 80%, 66%. Our stamina is a bit low, but you know what? It could be lower. So off I go. So can't get anything but experience from this path. Might as well. Mermaids, Labyrinth, Rider, Cult. These are all bad mysteries. We're just going to take all the custom mysteries before Mermaids. Oh, 10 for every experience as well. So we took 5 Doom, but that's because I couldn't level up anyway. So I had no control over that, aside from the fact that I could go into the police station and toss away my funds for experience. But I don't want to do that either, because I need to level up for this boss pain that I'm about to deal with. Like, literally, I think every mystery from now on has a boss in it. That actually is quite hard, so... Or it can be hard to deal with, especially if you don't have any encounter... If your character is not suited for encounters at the current time you're playing. But as I just continue moving on, we get a perk here. It's nothing. If you get the semi-auto, great. If we don't, sadness happens. So let's find out. I don't remember if it matters which door I take, but as I yawn here, and I swear it's not just because I don't know why. Oh goodness, I do this to myself. Walk away. Not today. And into the Grey Seer fight? Question mark? Grey Seer? No, Hallard Jastin. So this is a lot of damage, and I didn't smoke the pack of cigarettes, which actually makes me a bit sad. But we do have Ghostly Spear, and I'd rather Ghostly Spear than lose -3 all, or even -1 all. So let's see how low we can go. Probably gonna lose some stamina here still, but it's well worth it in my opinion. But we are gonna take a gamble. So the gamble is, never mind. That's right, we don't have Desperate Struggle. So we're gonna brace and kick, and if this doesn't hit, back to Ghostly Spear I go. The enemy's probably looking around confused, like, who's hitting me with these Ghostly Spears when you're right in front of me, just trying to kick me? Stuff. Oh, I didn't do this right, by the way. I just lost -3 all. I'm going crazy. Well, I didn't need to do that at the end either, but that was not good, what I just did. And, yep, 5 more Doom again because of experience. I can't do anything about that. And into Cult I go. Although I should have taken Rider because that's a guaranteed boss, I'm pretty sure. But you never know, right? I really should have smoked these cigarettes by now. I mean, we did lose -3 all, so... Poof, Ghostly Spear. Poof, Ghostly Spear. Poof, Ghostly Spear, Miku. And now this is guaranteed. So... Whee! Don't need this prescription. Give it back to Miku if possible. And yeah, let's see. If I run into another encounter now, I'm going to be quite sad with myself. But that's a forced event. That just gives you 3 dooms, so never mind for the moment. And for better or worse, I did run into a moderately easy enemy. But we do want to use Go. Yeah, if we didn't hit all 3 of those kicks there, I was gonna say I was gonna use Ghostly Spear, which I'm using right now. So disappear. And oh, that's prep. So, oh my goodness, that's right. I don't have a weapon. I'm going crazy. Kick. It's all in the mind. And off we go. Now, as for the rest of this run, oh, it's gonna be a bit weird. But as we actually get the follower, so I'm gonna pop these cigarettes way late. It's been a while since I've used this strategy. Before the vending machine buff, before the indirect Haru buffs in general. Oh my goodness, that is interesting. I really hope what's going to happen isn't going to happen in a moment. But I used to save cigarettes until the later half of a run, or basically I tried to use the cigarettes so they last me the end of a run. That does require some prediction, but it's not the worst thing in the world. In fact, I'll lose 1 stamina here because I feel like we're going to hit the stamina max cap anyway. Which I think we did. I wasn't watching that text for some reason, but anywho. The important part is that we're out. We also get to level up again, but nothing here to see, so instead take strength. And off to the forest I go. But yeah, without further ado, I mean, if there is anyone, or if there are viewers of both World of War or otherwise who watch everything on this channel, I would like to at least take some time to properly thank you as I actually sacrifice an ally in game and run. Yeah, I do properly thank you because it does a lot for the channel, more than you could ever know based on what you know about me. But as I sit here, again, it is quite surprising at times to see what people are interested in watching and whether or not they want to watch something or not. Into Rider I go, by the way, and it's going to be very, very painful. But curses, spells, and allies. We need to keep this we need to keep Ghostly Spear, though. That is literally the lifeblood of our run. And then we get a gruesome totem. But bleh. And funny enough, now we would be looking for more funds. I think, do we have the Curse Azal rule? If we do, I mean, I might still be interested in basically grabbing funds, but I think we just have to live with it. Wait, Rider, or was I thinking of Murderer? Anywho, I think I was thinking of the wrong mystery. I see Rider here. I don't think we have a boss then. If we do, well, guess I'm about to learn right now. Hey, let's just try it. Why not? Success, success again, success again. Was I even getting anything? I think we were, right? 5 funds here? We didn't get a brick, but we'll smoke these cigarettes if for no other reason than to get an extra speed boost, which is really nice. And we also get a damage boost. So actually we have a good chance of doing 9 damage in a turn, which will save on Ghostly Spear cost. That's another small optimization that you can do. And not just for Haru, but anyone who can benefit greatly from the Nicotine Rush buff, which is pretty much everyone. But if you get more things, like if you have Hard Knock, if you have extra, or you have an inbuilt speed perk, it's really, really nice, basically. But as we take 10 Doom, because we probably had... Well, we had a lot of experience, and then we had the spells. Oh boy, is this run gonna hurt immensely. But we'll take Mermaids now and see what happens. Injury, curses, allies, and spells. So again, we need to hold on to the spell. If we have an ally, I'm pretty sure they would be necessary. Otherwise, I would not be taking any. We'll take 8 charisma here, but then we'll also see what happens. Oh my goodness, max that level downtown, even with patrols. Ask for more details. Nope, we just take Doom, and into the monument I go. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, because we can't recover any stamina or reason, I do want to still be wary about what I use for... how many times to use the monument, essentially. I say, as I forget to Ghostly Spear here. I think we could afford to take that. But we cannot do... no, that's 8 damage. Okay, good. 8 HP. And we keep investigating these max threat level locations. I think we're okay. We might not be okay. I did forget my second encounter for sure this time. Well, here's hoping we can one-shot Takshi-san. Not just with not with Ghostly Spear, but literally handcuffs. So I guess we'll find out. Broken Nose and Stalker. So that's going to be a lot of extra doom. But as long as we keep our experience low, which I think I'm going to do now, we should be able to survive this run. Now, are we going to actually survive the run is a completely different story. By the way, this is Teachers, by the way. No, Mermaids, I'm going crazy. We just take the burns here. And 5% Doom, 92%. No! Time skip just lost me the run. Oh my goodness. Fine, be that way. Well, anywho. With that said, because theoretically speaking, I think we can one-shot Takushi-san, especially with everything we can throw with kicks and the handcuffs, but unfortunately the game decided just to say no, you lose. So without further ado, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. I've at least gone through my 1 hour minimum requirement for this stream at least. Now whether I'll do longer streams is a whole different question, but without further ado, again, yeah, we'll end this run on an ended Doom note. And I mean, 2 out of 4 runs, hey, that sounds like me. I think my win rate was a lot lower a year ago with Harbinger of Doom. But yeah, if you have anything to say, you know what to do. You can comment on this video or elsewhere as well. If you have anything to say, I do have a business email. You can also DM me on Discord. Otherwise, not much else to say after that. If you have any ideas for content, you can pass them by. I'll at least try to look at comments and or reply or look at them at the very least and think. Otherwise, thank you for watching and thank you for coming into the stream, whether you're watching now or in the future, and I'll see you later. Bye! Oh, end the stream, Jordan, end the stream!